And we are following breaking news out of the NFL where Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield has requested a trade. That has been confirmed by our NFL insider Jonathan Jones, who also confirms that the Browns have already told him, no, we're not going to trade you. The former #1 overall pick has spent the past 4 seasons there in Cleveland, was drafted by them back in 2018. ESPN reporting that Mayfield said the trade is, quote, in the mutual interest of both sides for us to move on and that the relationship is too far gone to mend. Let's welcome in senior NFL writer Pete Prisco to talk about this. Maybe we saw it coming, maybe we didn't, with the Browns talking to Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield putting up this social media post thanking the fans. They're officially wanting to be traded, and the Browns now saying no.
I mean, what the heck did the Browns expect? I mean, if you're Baker Mayfield and you're the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns and they're exploring to replace you with a guy who didn't play last year and has these 22 civil suits hanging over his head, did they expect him to come back all gleeful and jolly and say, let's go, Cleveland? I mean, what did they expect? Of course he's going to get mad. This isn't a guy being a baby about it. You could look at it the other way. The Browns tried to replace him. They couldn't. Now they want him back. And so if he wants to try and be traded, hey, go for it. Doesn't mean he's going to get traded, but I don't think the Browns can sit here and expect him to be all happy and joyful about coming back to Cleveland when they tried to replace him.
Josina Anderson reporting that the Seahawks might be exploring acquiring Baker Mayfield. Are there any teams out there, Pete, that you think he could be a potential good fit for?
Well, I mean, the Colts would have to take a look at him as well. I mean, look at their quarterback situation. It's a mess. And I think that would be one team to take a look at him. But if you're Cleveland, if you trade him, what are you getting back? And who are you playing with? And that's the thing. You know, everybody wants to get rid of their quarterback until they do, and then they don't have one. And so I think they have to be careful here. I would bring him back. He's not going to sit out the year. I mean, $18.5 million is a lot of money to leave on the table. He won't do that. He'll play, and he'll play for Cleveland. And if he plays well, maybe he even gets a contract extension. Baker Mayfield with a chip on his shoulder is a good thing to have, by the way. And I think that's ultimately what will happen.
Yeah, maybe not a bad thing. We've seen him with a chip on his shoulder before, performs well. I mean, what is it going to take? Do we actually see them come to some sort of kumbaya, or he's just going to play a little disgruntled?
Well, even if he plays disgruntled, you know, which guys do that and they try and go prove people wrong, then the Browns have protections. They could always, you know, if he played great, let's say he threw 40 touchdown passes next season, they could always tag him. They always have that in their bag as well. So the team has control here. Baker Mayfield does not have control unless he's willing to sit out an entire season and leave $18.5 million on the table, which is highly unlikely. So ultimately, Kevin Stefanski and Baker Mayfield will sit down. Cooler heads will prevail. He'll play well. And he was injured last year. He'll play much better. I'm not saying he's a star quarterback, but he'll play better than he did a year ago. If they can somehow win a bunch of games and get into the postseason and he has a good season, then they'll likely either tag him or try and extend him.
So both you and Jonathan Jones predicting that he will play. They'll figure things out. If for some reason there is another team that does come forward, what sort of compensation could they offer for Mayfield?
I mean, you'd probably, you know, he's on a one-year deal, so if you trade for him, that means if you're giving up a premium pick, you're going to have to trade for him with the idea you're going to have to extend him. And because you're not going to trade a premium pick, a second-round pick or a third-round pick, to go get him with the idea he's going to walk out the door. So I think the team that does that, if they gave up a 3, maybe they don't extend him. If they give up a 2, I think you have to extend him. But that's what I'm looking at, a second or a third for a team that doesn't have a quarterback.
Pete Prisco, we appreciate it, predicting that cooler heads will prevail and Baker Mayfield will play for the Browns at the beginning of this season. We appreciate it, Pete. For all things NFL, Pete is a contributor to the podcast. At some point during the week, make sure to download and follow the Pick 6 podcast with Will Brinson and crew. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.